to the groomsmen. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays for those of you that don't celebrate Christmas. I hope you guys are having a good week. Hopefully you get some time off work. On a nice little stretch of time off. I just started my nice big stretch for Christmas time off. I did a drive out to Wisconsin to pick up some family, my mother-in-law, my kid sisters from my wife's side, and brought them back up here so they can spend a holiday week with us, and then I'll drive back after the holiday. Probably in some bad weather. We're supposed to get a bunch of ice and snow coming up tomorrow, so should be fun. But today I'm using Christmas themed soap Magi by PAA. This did just get re-released on the PAA site. This is not a new one. I've had this for at least a couple of years. I bought it off the buy sell trade page. It was like tub lathered once, and then I've just been scooping it since then. You can kind of see it straight out a little bit on the edge where it's starting to shrink a little bit. No big deal. It just, you know, some of that moisture escapes out. The soap is still perfectly normal and fine. Smells great. It's very much an aromatic scent, that frankincense, myrrh, coumarin. It's got some of those nice spicy aromatic scents. Tobacco absolute. And then there's a bit of florals come down at the bottom, some lavender. There's another one I'm forgetting right now. I can't remember. Lavender and something else. There's another like floral kind of note down there in the base. But it's not too, like you can't really catch that floral note. It's just kind of down there in the base. It mixes with all the spices. For me, it's a really nice aromatic. It kind of reminds me of incense a little bit. It's not an incense scent, but a little bit. I'm not very religious, but when I was a young person, when I was a young kid, I used to go to church a lot, and my family was Catholic, and I remember going to the cathedrals, and they'd have like those big urns with like the incense, and they'd be swinging it around, and that kind of smell, not the incense itself, but like just kind of the background smell of that church, that frankincense and myrrh seemed. I like it. I dig it. It's a nice scent. I really like it. I got the aftershave cologne with the little spray bottle. I bought it off buy sell trade page. I'll use it as an aftershave, and then I'll probably spray a little on as well. I did think about getting the EDP when they released again this year, but I had buying enough stuff for Christmas this year. I didn't want to buy anything else. Trying to refrain, be smart on my spending. I got a vintage made right here. That nice, cool butterscotch bottom on that handle. It's a body 2-band badger knot I bought off Amazon and set myself. It's a pretty small knot. I think it's 22, but it works fantastic. Don't let anyone convince you got to have a 30mm knot to make a good lather. This is really dry. I think it was my face wasn't wet enough when I started putting this on. I'm gonna just bring my brush through the faucet real quick and paint this water into the lather real quick so I didn't get a little too pasty. That's feeling a lot better. All right, so if you watched my last video, small updates with my razors, I sent those two back that I was not happy with in the last video, the Stay Sharp and the Wade & Butcher Elite. I'll talk while I'm shaving. I'm using a kind of nobody razor. This is a Union razor. There's no branding on it at all, so I assume China, but maybe, I'm assuming it's made in China. But it's Union Razor, which is a US brand. They have plenty of vintage Union razors. I actually have one in my closet somewhere that I haven't done anything with yet. But there's kind of, the brand is still alive, but I'm 99.9% certain these are made in China. Like I said, there's no branding on the blade at all. I got this at a local truck stop. It was a Love's truck stop. It was like 10 bucks, 12 bucks. The scales are pretty cheap plastic. I don't know if you kind of hear them, they like creak, and I'm pretty sure these will break fairly quickly. They're just not made very well. Anyways, we're gonna try it. I stropped the heck out of it. It seemed like it was cutting on my arm pretty fine. I mean, it was even a little harsh, so I stropped the heck out of it, and hopefully it'll be better. So, like I said in that last video, I wasn't happy with those two razors I got back from RE. The Stay Sharp wasn't really cutting. This is cutting, but it's not very comfortable. Whew. Yeah, it's not very comfortable. It's definitely cutting, but yeah. I was going to use my giraffe today, and then I dinged up the blade. When I was setting up for a picture, I accidentally dinged the blade. So I got to redo it. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Thanks. So I'm going to use a different razor I've got here. Wade & Butcher. It's a very small blade. Hollow ground. That's what it says on the scroll work here. Extra hollow ground. Wade & Butcher, Sheffield, England. There's no number associated with it. I got something else on the hand. Improved tang. It is a bit longer of a tang. You can get 2 full fingers on there. Like I said, the blade is pretty small, comparatively speaking. I've only used this like once or twice. I did have it honed by someone else, Nicholas Madamba. I mean, he goes by another name too, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Sorry about that. But we're gonna try this out. I found it to be, my first impressions of it, which when I used it a while back, was that it was very sharp, but a little like uncomfortably sharp. It feels a lot different than, and it might be because it's smaller, plays a factor into it, or the edge that he put on there. I'm not super smart when it comes to like it's not really. I haven't shaved in a few days. Honestly, I got 3 or 4 days of growth. It's not as comfortable as my giraffe usually is. Yeah, it's just not, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I've tried it before and I kind of had the same impression. I just wasn't very comfortable. I'm just going to keep swapping 2 razors until I find something. This is my last one. If this one doesn't give me something I'm looking for, then I'm just going to switch to my DE, which I'll do later anyways. Red Imp, number 133, round tip. That's much smoother. Maybe it's the extra hollow grind on that Wade & Butcher that makes it feel different for me. I don't have enough of them to determine like which grind I like better, a hollow grind or an extra hollow grind or half hollow, or I haven't used a wedge. These both seem pretty the same as far as being extra hollow. I don't know if you can tell. I want to block that out so you can see it. It's not focusing, is it? I don't know. Moving on with our lives. So back to Razor Emporium. So I emailed them, right? I had some issues with the scales on the Stay Sharp and that it wasn't cutting. And then, yeah, tons of growth. Did an excellent job. And then I had issues with the scales and the fact they didn't cut, and so the home wasn't, I don't know what was wrong with it. And then I had issues with the Stay Sharp because I paid for it to be, you know, kind of restored, polished. I paid for the polishing option, which is like 60 bucks. I think it was like 40 for the honing and another 60 for the polishing option. And I didn't feel that it had been polished at all. So I emailed them. It was a pretty long email because I wanted to be like professional but clear and concise with all the issues and the expectations that I had and that weren't met, and the confusion that I had on the different things that went, you know, not great. So it was about 1.5 pages long. Like if you print it out, it was about 1.5 pages long. But I thought very like concise. I didn't ramble too much. I made my point. And I sent it, I think, late at night. didn't expect a reply right away. I think I sent it late on a Friday or maybe late on a Saturday, and I didn't expect to hear anything for a couple days. Surprisingly, I got an email back that same day. Oh, I forgot to do underneath my mustache. So I got an email back. Sorry, I keep getting distracted. And then it was pretty short. The email was like, I think 2 sentences long. And they said, send it back right away. We're gonna send you a tracking slip, or not tracking slip, label for USPS, which they did. And then we'll address this. So I got to it, I sent it out last week. I didn't send it out right away, I was busy, it was Christmas week, or you know, the week before Christmas. So I did get to it, I sent it out a few days ago. I did notice on the tracking that it got there yesterday, it already. I don't expect to see anything back for a minute. I don't know what their work policy is on Christmas break there, but I would assume his employees, and they're all off, which I hope they are. I hope you guys are all off. So I don't expect to see anything until after the new year. And then at some point there to get resolved and then ship back, so maybe middle of January is my guess. That's where I'm kind of leaning towards right now. Middle of January is my expectation on that. With the holiday and the turnaround times and whatever else they're doing, and I don't know if it just goes into the stack, whatever other workloads they had before, or how that works. I don't know. I'm not super worried about the timeline. It'll be what it'll be. I wasn't super happy with the reply. It was just, that was it. It was, we'll take care of this. Send them back right away. And they asked me to print out the email that I sent them, like the 2 pages, and include that in the box. So I assumed they wouldn't forget the issues that I had with it. But there was no explanation. There was no apology. When I brought up the fact that the razors, although theoretically, supposedly honed by the same person, and one was usable and one wasn't, I was confused by that. There's like, you know, did they not test the razor before they sent them out? Like, you know, most people that you say, or that you send stuff to hone, or they say that they'll do honing, they all say, hey, we test this, make sure it's working at the edge and everything is perfect, and after it's tested, then I re-sanitize it, and I re-strop it, and I re-oil it, and then I ship it out to you nice and clean and ready to go. So I kind of assumed that. I mean, they say it's, you know, honed and stropped and oiled, but I guess it didn't really say on their website that they test it. So I don't know if they're testing the razors or not before they send them out. That might be an issue. Anyway, it didn't really address any of the issues that I had. It didn't address that the scales were like comically large. It didn't address that the polishing option that I paid for didn't really get done. It didn't, there was no apologies, no explanations at all. It was just send them back, include your email. I think it said thanks, and then the initials for the employee that sent me the email. I'm not sure who that was because I don't recognize the initials. I also thought that was a little weird. Oh, what way am I going here? So, I don't have like super high expectations at this point. We'll see what happens. I hope it's usable when it comes back. I don't know how it's gonna work out. I don't know if they're just gonna leave I would assume they'd have to get rehoned if they're gonna do the polishing on the Wade and Butcher. I'm not sure if you could be able to polish the whole razor without messing the edge a little bit. So I'd assume it would have to get honed again after the polishing option. I don't know if it'll get sent to the same guy. It's definitely a lot more comfortable than it was last time I did on my neck. On that last video, I think I used that Wade and Butcher. It was not as this comfortable at all going against the grain on the neck. But I'll let you guys know when I hear back about those. If I hear anything else. I kind of don't expect to see another email about it, except that it's shipped. But if I do get another email, I'll let you guys know what they say. I find I have to do weird things with my arms in order to get the angle I want. Like this part right here, oh, it's actually pretty smooth. But it's kind of hard to get. This is like the only way I can do it. I have to like wrap my arm around. I don't have the dexterity to do it with my left hand the right way. It just doesn't work. Even with this, it's kind of difficult. That's not gonna work. Two good passes though. I do like this red end. I'm sketching on the name right now of the gentleman who honed it for me. I asked for some recommendations on Facebook, and then Arthur Knowles, the guy that runs Azalea City Suds, the shave soap, and he has a Facebook group as well, Ace of Shaves. He had recommended a couple guys that he's worked with and had razors honed with, and so I reached out, and one of the guys did this for me. Free of charge. He's kind of wanted a review and feedback on the blade, and I was kind of honest with him. I was like, I don't, at the time, I was like, I don't know. It's hard for me to give you feedback on a blade because I don't know what they're supposed to feel like. I'm new in the straights. I didn't want to take advantage of his generosity, but he was really nice and did it anyways. And so I gave him the best feedback I could. I could only compare it to the two that I had at the time, which is this and that really thin Wade and Butcher, and I like this one much better. That was good though. That was 2 full passes with a straight. I'm getting there. I'm starting to feel like progress is made. You know, I'm gonna do a touch-up pass, the last pass with a DE real quick. But you know, that was a cross the grain and a width the grain pass, which is more than I started out with 3 weeks ago or so. Starting to think that it can actually happen. For a while there, I was like, this isn't working. But it's getting there. It's definitely getting there. I'm enjoying the straights. I'm going to hone some razors up this next week while I have off. I'm going to fix that giraffe, which I kind of dinged a little bit, like I said. I don't even know if you can see it. I can't even really see it. You just got to like feel it with my finger. It's like right here. Anyways, I just was setting up the picture and I had it all set up, and then it kind of closed on me when I wasn't planning to, and it hit the handle on this Razor Rock handle. Just ding! And I was like, oh, nope, I just ruined my blade. And I thought at first I might have got lucky, but nope, it made a little ding right in the, and you can't even really see it, but like I went to strop it and it made a line on my strop because it was just this little piece of hanging metal. Yeah, I can definitely feel it when I go like that, when I run my thumb against it. This like jagged edge, man, that would hurt if I shaved with that. So, yep, that's gotta get fixed. Back to the stones, and by stones I mean lapping paper. I do have a couple stones. I have an old barber hone, which is kind of neat. And then I bought this, like, supposedly it's a 12K grit stone from China off eBay. I've read some mixed reviews on them. Some of them say they're okay. Some of them say the grit is kind of hit and miss with those. Sometimes they think it's about a 12K, but sometimes they feel like it's more like an 8. Anyway, I was cheap when I bought it off eBay to play with. So mostly I use the lapping paper though. I got, this is the winning, the original winning, smooth head. The little lather porthole in the bottom there. My new winning is still out, being tried out by Rex. We had a brief conversation. I think I was driving when he messaged me. He said he liked it. He's used it a couple times, I think, at that point. Was super enjoying it. He thinks he would have been happy if he gotten the titanium, but he was waiting to order until he tried it out. So I don't know if he'll wait for the next titanium order or if he'll pick up the stainless steel when they come back in stock, because the last order for the stainless steel ones, they've been selling out quick. I don't remember how long the last order was up on the site for, but it was less than 24 hours. Like, it's been going. As soon as Jake makes a batch, they get sold out. The new ones are pretty nice, but I still like the original as well. I got it loaded up with the Shark Super Stainless. I've used these before, but I don't even remember when. It might have been years ago. I was looking through my little cabinet over here with my shelf of blades. I kind of wanted to try something newish. And I had 2 tubs of the Sharks. One was unopened and that one had 3 blades in it. So apparently I used 2 of them at some point over the years. But I don't recall how they were. They could have been horrible because I kept them. Usually if they're like horrible, I would just like make plans to give to someone that likes them or just chuck them. I think I'm gonna get there on this the straight thing. I think I'm gonna be able to get the knack of it. Against the grain, which kind of gave me problems before, but I think I was just rushing it and expecting mastery right away, and it's just not. It's a pretty difficult skill to kind of master, and it doesn't help that you can't do it all the time, right? Like I can't. Oh, I'm gonna go practice, you know, my straight razor shaving here on, you know, even though I shaved this morning. Like, it doesn't work that way. You gotta wait till you got some growth. You gotta, you know, for your face with a little damage from your efforts, you gotta, you know, give yourself a day or 2 break to heal your face up. I mean, I got some injuries. I had I know you can't really quite see it. I cut myself right here on the sideburn like 2 weeks ago. It was obviously an off-camera shave. I think I just came in a little aggressive to like trim up that sideburn, and I didn't have that angle at a nice blade. I kind of came in a little bit more straight and poked myself, and that'll do it. I had to break out the styptic pencil for that one. I'm going to turn this goatee up too just at some point in the next week. Probably next time you see me on video. Chin hairs will be a little shorter. I haven't decided if I'm just going to shorten the whole thing or if I'm going to try and shape it up a little bit. I think I'll ask my wife, see if she's got an opinion. That was a marvelous shave, actually. It was a little rough start. Sorry if I'm going to shift through 3 different straight razors. You know, my plan got foiled literally minutes before I was going to shave when I dinged this blade, this giraffe. I had it all set out, and all I did was make the lather, and then I ruined that one. So then I was like, well, I'll try something new. And so I tried the Union razor, which I got cheap. I think it could be an okay razor, though. I'm going to hit that on the lapping paper as well. I do think. I've heard that a lot of people buy the gold dollar and hone them and they come out pretty well. Like the steel itself is okay, that whatever you're using in China. I've heard that the Pakistan ones are not so good, that the steel is more brittle or something. But people often get like the gold dollars and re-hone them up and have really good razors, they say. I mean, you get pretty good reviews to do like a honing on a gold dollar. So don't know if this is the same as a gold dollar. Not like that there's 0 markings on this at all. Just that it was in a blister pack from Union razors. But it's not horrible. I like the size of it. It's got some grooving on the tang here, or some jimping. And yeah, we're gonna try it out. So I'm gonna hone that up And then I didn't like that extra hollow from Wing Butcher. I think it's the shape. I think it's just a little bit too small. Makes it a little harder for me to use that really thin kind of blade. Then I ended up with the red imp, and the red imp worked out great. And that went in, cleaned it all up. I got one little spot right there. I'm gonna do a quick cold water splash. I'll be right, or cold water rinse, and I'll be right back for a splash. All right, I'm back. Thanks for sticking with me. Great shave, great post shave, very smooth. No nicks. I need to cheap up that sideburn a little bit there. It's a little crooked, but other than that, great shave. It went really well. The 2 passes with the straight razor, making continual improvement on that front, getting used to shaving with the straight. I use this Magi. I just pulled out the little atomizer there. I might use that to like spray on some, you know, on my body as like a cologne, but for the splash, I prefer it not aerosol for the splash. Just splash a little on my hands. Like I said, they did re-release this. I did notice when I was looking at the website for it, I briefly considered getting the EDP, but I think the splash is strong enough for me. You get, oh, rose, that's what it was. That other floral ingredient, I just got a whiff of it. Rose, I do like the splash. The soap for me is a little under-scented, especially, you know, with the splash right on my face. Like, yeah, the soap might be like a 4 out of 10 on scent strength, and the splash is like an 8 or 9. It's really nice. I really like the splash. That scent is, and it might be because my soap is old. Like I said, it's more than a couple years old. I heard some people say the scent strength doesn't get affected, but I know the scent strength does get affected at some point. You know, those scenting oils kind of evaporate and they go their own way. And I got a puck of Old Spice. I can still smell it a little bit, but it's definitely not the same as it was when it was new. But anyways, that's my 2-year-old puck. The scent is a little, I don't know if it's diminished because I don't know if it was ever stronger before, but it's not quite the scent strength as a splash, which is really nice. A little bit more of those aromatics, a little bit more of those spices, that frankincense and myrrh. But you get a little bit of that floral in the background, the rose and now I forgot what the other one was. Anyways, there's a little bit of that, those base notes. It's really, I do really like it. Anyways, I got distracted there. They had another option for a splash. I had like the standard soap and splash bundle for like 45 bucks or something, 40 bucks. I think it's like 45 and they take off $5 for the bundle discount. And then you can buy the item separately, but the splash that you buy separately is not the same as the bundle. The splash that you buy separately is $30. I considered buying a bottle. This one leaked when I first got it, which is why the label's kind of messed up a little bit there. But the splash, $30 for the splash and a normal, like the modern splash bottles. And it's aged a year in the original cask or whatever that they made the original batch in. So I guess it's a fully aged 1 year and double filtered. So I was curious if that made the scent stronger or more refined. So I'm thinking about buying it. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. I'm not sure how long Magi stays up on the website. If it stays up through the new year, then maybe I'll buy it after Christmas. I'm not gonna spend any more money this week. I'm curious about it. I'm curious about that. Smells great. Fantastic shave. The splash was great. It didn't burn at all. Yeah, it was a great shave. That was a really good shave with the red imp. Thank you, man. I'm sorry I forgot your name. I'll have to go find it. I kept his letter. He sent me a letter with like everything that he did for the honing and the stropping and what stones he used and everything. And I got it up on my shelf somewhere, and I'm sorry I forgot. But that was a really smooth shave. Very nice. I think I might have liked that better than the last time I used the giraffe, which is what I normally use. So that was great. I'm getting a lot more comfortable. I hope you guys are enjoying these shades as much as I am, and I hope you guys have a great holiday week, and get some well-deserved time off work if you got it. I hope you did, and I will see you guys here in, I'll probably make another one before the end of the year, but if not, I'll see you in the new year, certainly. Happy holidays, and see you next time.